Hey up troops, it's A Littleton here again, and as you can see this time, we're going to be looking at a tier list. Look at the things below us, we're going to be looking at all the ranked maps and banging them in a tier list. Now I don't actually agree with most of the community on where I put these maps, and I'm not just saying that as a little bit of clickbait, I genuinely mean it. But I'm going to go into each map, and I'm going to go into a bit of detail about why I like it or why I don't like it. So I'm not just going to bang them all in a tier list and go there, that's what I think. I'm going to put a little bit of meat to the bone and explain why I think some of those maps are better than the community think they actually are. As always, when it comes to tier lists, there's no right or wrong answer, it's all just a matter of opinion. So there's going to be plenty of people out there that disagree with me. Hopefully there's a few that agree with me. But if you do disagree or you've got a difference of opinion, get it in the comments below because I'm genuinely interested to see what the community think. Enough waffling for a change. Let's get stuck into it. Right then, let's dive into this. The way that I'm going to think about it is I'm going to think about attacking the map and then defending the map. And then between the two, decide on where in this tier list it's going to go. We've got 5 stages. We've got banger, acceptable, okay, bit poo, and plop. Now, before we get started, I genuinely don't think there's that many bad maps. And even some of the maps that the community think are bad, I actually quite enjoy. But look, there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. This is just what I think. And you're welcome to your own opinion. And I encourage you to get your opinion in the comments below. We're going to start with the most recent map, which is Nighthaven Labs, okay? So to attack Nighthaven Labs, I think basement is a little bit linear. There's a couple of hatches. There's a few staircases down. You've got the 2 breaches in Animus and whatever the other room's called. I'm still not up to speed with the call outs yet. So it can be tough to attack. A lot of people are attacking in a similar sort of way when it comes to the upstairs and kitchen and the mez cargo area. Isn't really played that often. But to defend... And in terms of playing the map, I actually think it's quite fun. It's a fresh change. I think not being able to ban the map last season has benefited everyone because everyone's had to learn it. I don't think Emerald Plains had that luxury. Because Emerald Plains could be banned, I think people just went, oh, I can't be bothered to learn it. I think, you know how sort of Nighthaven Labs is considered to be a good map and Emerald Plains is considered to be not so good? I think that's because people didn't learn how to play Emerald Plains. If you had to play Emerald and you couldn't ban it, I think we'd think Emerald Plains was quite good as well. For me, at the minute, Nighthaven Labs goes in right up there. I think it's a great map. There's a couple of changes which need to happen. I think the drone hole on kitchen needs to have like a... I don't know if you've noticed on the maps, there's quite often on drone holes, they'll be put something in front of it, whether it's like a suitcase or a fire extinguisher case is one you see quite a lot. Something needs to go in front of that drone hole. And the other one is the drone that you can throw up onto the mez glass. That you shouldn't be able to do that. The defenders can't do anything about it. If you don't know what that is, Google or TikTok Nighthaven Labs drone or something like that. You can get a drone up. Let me have a look at the map here. I know you can't really see on this picture, but in this side of the map here where my mouse is now, you can get a drone up onto the side of the glass, and you can't destroy it as a defender, so that needs to change. But anyway, acceptable map. I really like it. Now, we're moving on. Even though I said I don't hate that many maps, Stadium Bravo goes and plop. I don't hate Stadium Bravo. I think it's okay. I don't hate playing it. I just don't like playing it as much as the other maps, and therefore it's plop for me. I would rather play Border or Coastline than the amalgamation of the two. It was a fun map for the limited time game mode. I think they probably just threw it in the rank pool because they needed to put something in there to make a new map a bit more interesting. It's just not as fun as other maps. People still play it like... they don't play it like its own map. When you attack the Armory Lockers archive side of the map, everyone attacks it like Border. When you attack the kitchen service area, everyone attacks it like Coastline, right? Same as the VIP penthouse area. It's not its own map. It's a hybrid of 2 maps, and people still play it like those 2 maps, and it just doesn't do it for me, unfortunately. Emerald Plains, I don't want to say it's a bit poo, but I feel like compared to other maps, Emerald Plains is a bit poo. I like defending Emerald Plains, and I like attacking a couple of sites. But again, I don't think people play it often enough, and I think if you actually played Emerald Plains and you didn't ban it, I think people would learn to love it. And if you can actually get a few site setups and a few attacks, a few executes down, I think Emerald Plains would be a really, really worthwhile map learning and not banning. The only problem is everyone bans it in ranked. That's the main issue with it. But I think it's all right. To attack and defend, I think it's fairly even. Kitchen can be tricky to attack if you're struggling at the breach. Because you know what, you've got the wall opposite the breach, like the other side of the freezer. It's difficult to get the defender out from behind there, but all that ceiling's destructible above, so There's no excuse for not going above and doing the vertical. But like when you attack Cafe Kitchen, right? You have to go above and get the vertical, otherwise you're going to struggle. Next, on to Bank. I really like playing Bank. The reason I like playing Bank is I feel like it's more strategic than other maps. Certainly more strategic than, say, Coastline and Border and Consulate, for example, which I feel like are fairly frag heavy. But I feel like with Bank, if you're a better organised team, you win the game. If you clear the top floor, we're attacking basement on Bank. You clear the top floor, you get control of open area, you open the hatches, you open the server wall. If you do everything right strategically and you drone out correctly, I think the better team always wins on Bank. You play Coastline, I feel like the better team who's got the better fraggers probably wins. I feel like on Bank, the better strategic team wins, and that's the part of Siege that I love. Being able to outsmart your opponents by bringing different utility. Border is okay. Certainly better since the rework. Still quite frag heavy. It's a small map when you consider it to other maps. There's a lot of destructible ceiling, which I like, a lot of destructible floor. Pre-placed C4s are a beauty on Border. I just feel like it's all fought over one room, or usually over one or two rooms, and especially upstairs when you're attacking armory lockers. If you can get control of CCTV, you're in. That's why if you ever watch Pro League, holding CCTV is a huge deal. It's kind of similar to Library on Chalet, I guess. Like that's the key room to get control of if you want to then progress your attack. And that's why in Pro League you see so many people hold CCTV with all sorts of castles, army strats, etc. Whereas in ranked you don't really see that much. It's difficult to hold CCTV on your own in ranked. So yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just okay. What I might do, by the way, when I start adding more of these maps to these tiers, I might bring a few of these up or down, but we'll see. Chalet, for me, goes in banger. Now, why does Chalet go in banger? I think it's got everything. I think it's fairly even in terms of attack versus defense. I don't think attacker or defender has an advantage. The beauty of Chalet for me and what I enjoy about it is all four sites are viable. You can play upstairs, you can play basement, you can play bar, you can play games, and all of them are viable. There's not many maps where all four sides are viable. Not many. Chalet is one of those. And I feel that there's enough sort of like sort of tricks and things you can have up your sleeve on attack, which can give you the edge. But there's also, it's easy enough as a defender to make basic holds and things. So, yeah, I think it's really well designed. I think it's one of the best maps, one of the most even maps, and I think that's why you see it in Pro League a lot, but great map. Now, everyone's favourite usually, Clubhouse. It's going straight up to the top, and I know I'm a bit boring for saying that, but it echoes what I've just said about Chalet. All four sites are viable. CCTV is the worst site, but for some reason people keep playing it. If you're playing Clubhouse and you go CCTV as your first defense, you're absolutely trolling your ranked games. Always go basement or gym as your first protocol. It's one of the few sites where if you just get that breach open and you clear rafters, that's it. Smoke so you can run across from the guy playing top red can't shoot you as you run through the breach. And as long as rafters is clear and that breach is open, you can just plant behind the bomb or behind the server rack. Yes, you can get a C4 below, but there's ways around that. The only other thing you got to do is put an OSA on the breach to stop anyone going across to stop the plant. Play someone underneath in blue or Adam, whatever you want to call it, secret. Stop someone C4ing from below. It's the hardest site to defend, in my opinion. And if you play it simply, then it's easy to attack and hard to defend. But people still play there for some reason. But yeah, really well balanced map. Again, there's lots of tricks and angles and vert you can play. But again, it's simple enough yet detailed enough that it makes it fun, interesting, and tactical. Great map. Coastline for me, I'm tempted to. And people love Coastline, and aesthetically, it's a lovely map and it's designed really well. But for me, it's somewhere between these two. You know what? People are gonna be absolutely fuming at me if I put Coastline in bit poo, but I'm going to. Coastline is a bit poo, and the reason I say Coastline's a bit poo is it doesn't do the things that I love Siege for. Siege, as I mentioned about Bank, is all about having 5 people who tactically outsmart 5 other people and are able to gain an advantage by doing something as a team that the other team don't do or fail to act on. And Coastline doesn't do that for me. There's the odd bit of vertical play if you're attacking kitchen, you get control of VIP penthouse, but it doesn't do the things that I love Siege for. I hate the fact that you can just sit on ruins when you're attacking hookah and you get someone playing Glass or Cali just sitting on ruins. Bore off. That's not Siege. It's just a frag fest. It's fun, but it's not what I love about Siege, so that's why it's going in a bit poo. Consulate goes in okay. Right, I have to be careful here because the community is going to go mad that I've put Consulate above Coastline, but I'm standing with my guns here, right? Consulate is similar to Coastline. Consulate could easily go here, but I feel like Consulate does need a little bit of teamwork to be effective, so Consulate goes up there. It's going to get reworked, we know that. I saw that in the Year 8 announcements, and I think it's not in B tier. It's not. I mean, acceptable. I don't know why. Probably should have renamed these to like A, B, C, D, E, but we're keeping it as it is now. It's I don't know. It's I like Consulate, and I think the main problem is the windows and the lines of sight. To attack, it's easy enough because of the windows. To defend, I think it's easy enough. Again, upstairs on Consulate is probably one of the hardest sides to defend, I feel, but everyone plays up there. But like downstairs is also really difficult to defend because all you got to do is open the breach and plant in front of the white van. So it's tough, but I think it's balanced. It's easy enough to attack, easy enough to defend at times. So, it goes in at okay. I don't think it's as bad as a bit poo, and I certainly don't think it's as good as Night Haven and Bank. So I think it fits there okay. Cafe goes in at acceptable. I don't even have to think about that. Again, 3 acceptable sites. Museum's a bit of a troll, difficult to hold in ranked. That's why you don't see it in comp that often as well. But a fun map. The only thing I don't like is everyone just sits on the hatches on attack on the top floor. But I suppose it's a little bit different to other maps because there isn't other maps where you attack from the roof. There's very few maps where you'll sit on the roof and base your attack around the skylight in 2 hatches. So it is a little bit different in that sense. I like the aesthetic. In terms of attacking, it's easy enough to get into the building on Cafe, but then getting the execute off is hard. There's a few other maps which is more difficult to get into the building. But yeah, I think it goes in at acceptable, to be honest. I think it's all right. I like playing Cafe. Canal. Watch out. Boom. Straight in at acceptable for me. Canal suffers from Skyscraper, theme park, and Outback syndrome. The reason I say that is old Canal wasn't particularly designed very well with the fact there was only one bridge between the buildings, you couldn't get across. People then hated Canal for that reason, and since it's been reworked, people don't appreciate Canal for how balanced Canal is. Canal is one of the most balanced maps in the rank pool. It's good for attackers, it's good for defenders. The only point with Canal is there's 2 pinch points on every attack and defense on the top floor and bottom floor that everyone's obsessed with. Everyone pushes the breach and the what you call sort of mudroom, suicide, sauna, the little kill box next to the breach. And then downstairs, everyone pushes trench door. I say everyone, you know, I don't mean everyone. I just mean they're the most popular ways to attack. And they'll pinch points a little bit, whereas I feel like other maps have got like a couple of different ways you can attack and different ways you can come in. Generally attacking those 2 sites, they're going to be the busiest parts. But other than that, I think it's balanced. I enjoy attacking it, I enjoy defending it. And if you ever want free C4 kills with Valcams and pre-placed C4s, Canal's your map. I can guarantee when I play Canal, I get 2 free kills in the game because I get pre-placed C4 kills on defending top floor and defending basement every time. Where are those C4s, you ask? Oh, go and have a look at the How to Defend Canal video that I made a few months ago. Oregon, boom. And look, I'm being really generic here. I know these are the 3 maps that everyone enjoys. Oh, does Oregon go here, actually? You know what? I'm putting Oregon there. I'm putting Oregon there. I don't enjoy Oregon as much as Club and Chalet, but I do. I need like a different tier. I need in between banger and acceptable for Oregon. Enjoy Oregon. Fun to attack, fun to defend. It's a little bit linear, I feel, Oregon. I feel like Oregon's are sort of the similar attacks all the time. Although, I say that, like, when you're attacking basements, everyone pushes blue, don't they? But you don't have to push blue. Like, the freezer main attack is very, very viable. And is more commonly seen in Pro League as well, with someone coming down big tower late. So I feel like it's a bit more linear than the other maps that are up there, but there are other ways to do it. I don't know. I'm really not sure. I really do enjoy playing Oregon, but no, I don't think it's as fun as Club or as fun as Chalet. But I do feel like it's up there with, again, the most balanced, although defenders do have a slight edge. I don't know. Oregon's a tough one for me there. I'm going to leave it unacceptable before I just keep going around in circles about the way I'm explaining it. Right then, the moment we've all been waiting for. Outback, new Outback is a banger. New Outback is sensational, right? Outback suffers from Canal fever, where people didn't enjoy old Outback, and I know why. Because old Outback, when you used to get to Top Shark, you couldn't get across to Piano. As an attacker, that was a problem. Your only way around there was to go around Bull. That problem's now been alleviated. And there's nothing not to like about Outback. 3 sites are viable. The site that's under garage, I forget what it's called, like the kitchen, like parts area where the tyres are. That site is a bit trickier, so that one isn't quite as viable. But the other 3 sites are really good. And also, a Piano and Laundry is one of the worst sites on the map. But people play it all the time because that was the best site on old Outback. So people play it all the time on this. I think the best site on Outback is green and red bedroom. And you hold it from above. Hear me out and give it a go. I think it's dead balanced. I don't get the problem. There's enough ways for attackers to attack. There's enough ways to defenders to defend. The aesthetic's cool. It's a big enough map so you can roam. You can anchor if you want to. There's hatches in the right places. There's soft walls and destruction in the right places. I genuinely think Outback is in the top tier of maps, and I want to see Outback in comp and in Pro League. And I feel like it should be, because it's so balanced and so well designed. There's, when you're thinking about areas that you don't so much enjoy on other maps, like I just mentioned about Canal, the pinch points, I don't feel like there's any of that on Outback. I feel like there's different ways you can get around. It's one of my favourite maps and should be the rest of the community's favourite map, but they don't play it and they don't like it because they didn't like old Outback. That's the truth. Skyscraper, for me, goes in and acceptable as well. Nearly gets up here, actually, because I really, really enjoy Skyscraper. And you know what? I never played Skyscraper before the rework because I don't play casual in Siege. I've played like 3 hours, no, a bit more than that, probably like 10 hours tops of casual in the time that I've played Siege in the last 3 and a bit years. And I've played 3,000 hours of ranked. And I just don't enjoy casual. There's nothing in it for me. What I enjoy most about Siege is the competitive side, and that isn't there in casual. So I never played Skyscraper before it came to the rank pool, so I never learnt it. And then when it came to the rank pool, all of a sudden people are like, oh yes, this is a great map, and you've got to learn how to play it. And I was really standoffish. I didn't enjoy it. But now I've learnt it, and I'm still not quite sure about strats attacking like barbecue and kitchen. I'm all right on the top 4, but you know what? I'm doing it. I'm putting it up there. Again, really well balanced. I feel like on Skyscraper, attacking Geisha and Karaoke can be tough. But again, there's enough ways to go. People are obsessed with attacking Geisha. Did I just say Geisha Karaoke? I meant tea and karaoke. People are obsessed with Geisha, which is important to get a hold of, right? But what's more important is getting a hold of Drum and getting a hold of Terrace. That's what's more important. Then get Geisha, because how many times you jump in Geisha and someone's holding the feet holes that someone made in Drum? It's every in Drum. It's every time, isn't it? So it's dead balanced. It's a good map, a really good map, and I'm standing by that. I'm surprised. I bet you didn't think these two were going to be in the top. Right, theme park is. I'm putting it there. And I'm not just doing this to be controversial, right? I think theme park is a fun map. Going through the attacking and defending side of things, I think Drug is the hardest side to defend in ranked, but is often seen in comp, which is, you see that all the time where like Bar on Clubhouse is played in comp, but not in ranked. You see, what's the other side? What's the other side I'm thinking of? Open Area is played all the time in comp on Bank, but you don't see it in ranked that often. It's like the third choice in ranked. Drug can be tough to hold in ranked, but other than Throne Armory, which is probably the easiest side to defend in all of Siege, I think the map is really, really good. I enjoy theme park a lot. I really enjoy playing it. And again, there's multiple ways you can attack, multiple ways you can... You think about attacking cache and initiation. You can go from the top yellow wall outside cafe. You can go from not cache and initiation, office and initiation. You can go from the top yellow wall. You can go from the cache wall. You can go from the security hatch. You can go from daycare. There's 4 walls you can breach there on all 4 walls of the side. As an attacker, all 4 walls of the side, on all 4 walls of the site. As an attacker, you don't get that luxury on many other sites. You can attack from 4 different reinforced walls. You think about CCTV on Clubhouse, you've got 1 reinforced wall and then the single wall in cache. Whereas with Theme Park, you've got a good choice. And I think it's one of the most interesting maps to watch in comp as well. I'm sticking with that. And Villa, sticking Villa up there as well. Villa for me is, it's all round as well. It fits into the same category as Club and as Chalet. The only thing I think living room library site needs a bit of a rework. It's not particularly viable. But the other 3 sites play really well. It's quite often you can see someone go 3-0 on attack or 3-0 on defense on Villa. It really can go either way depending on various strats that you do. Like my video that came out the other day about attacking the north side on the top 4 Aviator games. People are still a little bit obsessed about attacking certain sides. Attacking the other side of the map is a bit easier away from the utility. But I think it's balanced. I think it's good. I like Villa. So, going over all that there, we've got Chalet, Club, Outback, Skyscraper, and Villa as the best maps. I think a lot of people will probably agree with Chalet, Club, and Villa. I don't think many people will agree with me here. But again, maybe Skyscraper is a favourite map for some, but no one will agree with me with Outback. That's because everyone bans it and doesn't enjoy it and doesn't learn it. It's so balanced. I'm such an Outback advocate. Honestly, I really am. I think Nighthaven, after a few more seasons, could find itself up here. Again, really balanced map, just needs a few tweaks. Bank, a classic. Cafe, a classic. Canal, people won't agree with me. Oregon, a classic. Theme Park, people won't agree. I think in most tier lists, you'd see Canal and Theme Park. Down here is a bit poo. But it's just the way I enjoy Siege. I said it again. I'll say it before. I'll say it again as to wrap it up. The maps which force you to play as a team and to play strategically more, Theme Park is a great example, and the maps that I enjoy more. Not everyone's going to agree with me, but that's what I think. So there we have it. That's my thoughts on the rank maps in terms of a tier list. I know people won't agree with me when it comes to Theme Park, Canal, Outback, and Skyscraper, but I just think you need to give it a bit more of a chance. If you don't like Outback at the minute, don't ban it for 5 games and play it and see what you think. Go into a custom game on your own for half an hour, have a run around, find some new angles, find some things out you didn't know about it. It's much better than old Outback because of one main rotation at the top of Shark and around Piano. But I don't know, it's just really balanced. I want you to give it a go. I want to play Outback more in ranked. As always, for anyone that gets this far or even watches a small portion of the video, I really appreciate you getting involved with the channel. I really appreciate you watching it. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers!